Let's go, everybody. We are here for the Kingdom Warrior podcast. And today I have a guest, Ian Parks. We are going to be digging into all kinds of good stuff with Ian. And before we jump in with Ian, I want to give a quick shout out to Good Grounds Coffee in Adair Village. If you guys have not been through their drive-through or their shop to get a coffee and all of their little goodies like waffles, I'm just saying they have really, really good waffles and great coffee and great people. So make sure you drive through there. But I want to introduce you guys to Ian. So Ian and I just recently had the honor to meet each other. We go to the same gym, but really just met. And he trains along with my trainer. And so I want to introduce you guys to Ian because I think he's got a really powerful story you guys are going to want to hear today. He's been 5 years a personal trainer. He's a certified powerlifting instructor. Been in the fitness world for over 11 years and has four kids, you guys, 17, 7, 2, and 3 months. Holy cow. He's got his hands full. And some fun things about Ian is he plays the bass and also is a skateboarder. What? Learning new things all the time. So Ian, welcome to the podcast. I'm super stoked to have you.
Hello. Glad to be here.
So Ian, when we were talking just before this, I mentioned I wanted to kind of dig into where your life is right now. So kind of walk me through a little bit about what does your life look like right now? It's very different than I think what it looked like maybe a few years ago. And we'll go into that later in the podcast, but kind of paint that picture of what your world is like.
Yeah, no, it's life's very different now than it used to be. Very happy. I have a job that I really love. I get to help people, get stronger, healthy, move better, which is something I've prayed for a long time. I'm really happy. Like I've got a happy family. Our mother-in-law and us, we all moved into a house together. So we have a nice support system. My wife gets a lot of help with the kids.
With 4 kids, I feel like that's needed.
It is needed, and it's something we never, 10 years ago, if you would have told me that I would have lived with my mother-in-law, I would have been like, with 4 kids,
Yeah.
I would have told you you're crazy, but
Whole house.
yeah, and that we'd be happy and all go to church together and all that stuff. That was not a thought 10 years ago. But life's pretty good. It's pretty simple though. I work, I train, hang out with the family, and like that's the day.
Yeah.
Throw some 5 meals in there and that's a day.
Food is a necessity, food
Yeah.
and breathing and all of that.
Yeah.
So when you're training at the gym, and you're working with clientele, are they all working on like powerlifting goals, or are some of them just working towards strength goals? And what are some of the things that you see maybe get in the way of people progressing?
Well, I have so many different clients. I have clients that vary from the age of 17 to 85.
Oh,
So
wow.
everybody's goals are different. I have powerlifting clients who compete, and then I have clients who are just trying to improve their posture or to get their knee to stop hurting, or just general movement. I have a client, somebody that you ran into yesterday. He hired me because he wanted to get in shape for a hunting trip.
Oh yeah.
And then it was like, oh, I'm also a golfer. I'd like to maybe improve the speed of my swing, and all those things improved. His hunting trip went well, and he came back, and we're still working together with no end in sight, as long as his golf game keeps improving. So everybody has different goals, and they vary so widely.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a wide, not just a wide age range, but also a wide goal range, right? Like,
Yeah.
I would have never thought in a million years, like improving the speed of a golf swing, but I get it, right? Like when I started seeing or training with Kayla, mine was just to become stronger. Like it wasn't it wasn't anything crazy. It was just become stronger. And
Yeah.
have you had any like really crazy goals that you've heard anybody give you?
Well, I had a client that came to me and she just wanted to get in shape. That was it. Like she didn't have anything. And I always tell my clients, I always like encourage them to find a goal, to have a goal, like if you want to do a pull up, do you want to run a race, whatever it is, find a goal. And she was the most unlikely person to pick an iron, or what was it? It was a Spartan race.
Oh,
She
snap.
picked a Spartan race, yeah. So she trained for that, and I think she flew out to Montana with her husband and competed in a Spartan race. She finished it, and
Holy cow.
yeah, and she wants to do more. She plans on coming back and doing more. She got a little rack for all of her medals, kind of like what I need back here, but yeah,
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Talk about like
yeah,
0 to 60, right? Like
yeah.
no goal to let's do a Spartan race.
Well, and the cool thing about her doing the Spartan race was that she had two knee replacements
Wow.
that were like they were pretty old knee replacements. So
Hmm.
that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, I don't know, it seems like everybody I run into at the gym, everybody's had something, right? Like
Yeah.
shoulder surgeries, knee surgeries, back surgeries.
Hmm.
I actually ran into a gentleman at the gym this morning who I haven't seen in a while, but I didn't know that he had actually broken his neck before, and he had to have his
Wow.
neck like fused, and he thought he had just like hurt his shoulder, and he went in and had imaging, and they were like, you broke your neck.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was crazy.
How do you not know
um I I
that?
I would like to not do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh. So, when you are training with people, I kind of want to go into mindset a little bit because so many of my conversations around the gym, I was actually just having one yesterday with a friend of mine. And we were talking about lifting heavy and bench in particular. Um, and we were talking about how mindset is like 90% of it, right? Like it's
Yeah.
such a big, big piece. Kayla and I have had conversations around it. How do you handle the mindset component with your clients? Because everybody's probably got different mindset. Some people probably struggle with it more than others. So as a coach, how do you help your clients through the mindset struggles?
Well, it's something that gets easier as you get to know them.
Hmm.
Because at first you don't know what motivates somebody. Some people are motivated by, like some really gruff kind of encouragement, like, come on,
Hmm.
like maybe
Yeah.
not yelling at them, but and then some
Like
people
bold.
yeah, yeah, and some people want more gentle encouragement. So it's kind of you have to learn the person. That's
Yeah.
something I never learned in my personal training certification was like how to deal with personalities. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
that's the biggest thing is if you can't deal with people, it's going to be a really hard job. But I like people, and I'm pretty good at learning how to motivate them. Some people get motivated by just joking with them.
Mm.
And like my
Humor.
85-year-old client, yeah, he is very hard to motivate because he does not want to work out. His wife makes him work out.
Oh,
She,
you have to.
oh yeah, yeah, for sure. And he doesn't want to, so he gets. I'm pretty lax with him because I know that he gets the whip cracked on him quite a bit, and he's moving around a lot. So I go a little easier on him, but I still make him move, and it's you gotta it's hard because you can't motivate a person like that by being like, come on, let's go, let's
Yeah.
go, let's go. They just it'll make them not like you, it'll make
Yeah.
them not want to come see you,
Dig
and they
their
have to
heels
like to
in.
yeah they have to because I mean I'm sure you look forward to going and meeting with Kayla
Most
every day,
mornings.
most more I guess yeah there's probably some mornings where there's something's coming.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, oh, do I really want to go in there today?
Yeah. I know I definitely have clients like that too, where there's no back off because like my younger powerlifting clients, those guys they're really fun because I can push them really hard.
Yeah.
And all the stuff they're doing is stuff that I've done, so I'm not pushing them to do anything that I haven't done or that I know they can't do,
Hmm. It's
which
interesting.
sometimes is even better when they think they can't do it because then they do it and
And they're like, whoa, I did that.
Yeah,
Like that happens with Kayla and I a lot. I'm like, never
yeah.
thought a million years I could do something, and then she has me do it, and I'm like, what? I just
Yeah.
did that. Yeah, it's kind of mind blowing. It makes me think a lot of like I have two boys. They're both grown and graduated out of high school now, but they did play a lot of sports. So they did wrestling and football and baseball and all the things. And the coaches were all very different for them. You know, like some coaches were pretty even keel, other coaches were very intense, you know,
Hmm.
that kind of like that in your face we were talking about.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see how my boys responded to those different coaches in those sports because, you know, like one of them, it wouldn't even phase him at all. He'd be like, you can talk to me normal or you can yell at me. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm giving my effort.
Hmm.
And the other one was like, he needed the like,
Yeah.
the kick in the butt, you know? So
Yeah.
it's kind of funny to see, like you said, how people respond to that. So you've been training for like 5 years. You have these clients you're helping, all different ages, all different motivations. Um, you know, I see you post quite a bit about like PRs, or not just yours, but like your clients and people you're working with, which is super inspiring. But I want to backtrack just a little bit because I know we're talking about how great everything is right now, but it wasn't always so great, is kind of my understanding. So maybe go back a couple years uh, to maybe like just your growing up, or um, talk a little bit about like what your upbringing was like.
Yeah. My upbringing was very, very interesting. Um, m- my earliest memory is from when I was like 3.
Oh
It was
wow.
my dad, and honestly, this is kind of like I think this is part of the root why I'm a trainer. Also, it has to do with my mom. My mom is a big reason why I'm a trainer for several reasons. But my earliest memory is my dad. I hope my dad doesn't listen to this, but is my dad hitting my mom and telling her that she was too fat. And my mom struggled with weight for a long time, and it affected her health. Like she had a really bad back, and like I watched her suffer with that. And I always knew that if she would just lose the weight and like get healthy, that you know, like she would be better. Um, so that's my earliest memory. And
Wow.
then you go on like maybe when I was like 7, my dad he was driving a cement truck. He got T-boned by a Greyhound bus, and that's kind of where we went to church. I'm kind of jumping around. This might be a little choppy. Sorry. I don't really go over this story very
We'll
often.
bring it all. We'll bring it all around
Yeah,
in the end. It's fine.
yeah. Um, so that's my earliest memory. Going to like when I was 7, my dad had gotten hit by the bus. He was out of work and claimed that his back was hurt and met a neighbor who started using meth. Um, and things got kind of pretty bad. We moved from a place in like San Bernardino up to Big Bear, California,
Okay.
and that's where my dad first went to jail there. And when he got out, that's kind of like we started going to church, and we got really involved in a church, and I was all in, right? Like, I mean, I was all in. I was a kid, I had childlike faith, and
Yeah.
you know, um, and my dad, for years, he was complaining about that back injury, and one day we went to a revival. I don't know if you've
Okay.
been to one of those, but we
Hmm.
went to a revival at a pastor's house, and I remember my dad being um, slain in the spirit, right?
Yeah.
And laying on the ground and doing this moving thing and coming up and saying that he was healed. And I mean, so doctors were never able to say that his back was hurt. I mean, there was nothing wrong with his back. So like, I don't know. I looked at it because I tried to be slain in the spirit, and nothing happened, and I was like, what's going on? And
Mm.
I think from that point forward, because my dad got arrested after that, I really turned away from God.
How old were
So
you at
from
that point?
maybe eight,
Okay.
9, somewhere
Wow.
around there. We started going to church with my grandparents when I was in my teens, and it was a really big church. I don't know if you've ever heard of Saddleback Church. Really big church.
I don't think so. I don't think I've
It's
heard
in
of
Southern California. It's
it. Okay.
a really big church. Anyways, I never really felt welcome there. And I think I turned even further away.
Hmm.
So throughout my teens, I really spent a lot of my time skateboarding, hanging out with friends, and I mean my whole thing going all through high school was just getting stoned and hanging out with friends. And I think my sophomore high school picture, I was pretty drunk,
Hmm.
so that
In the
was,
school
and that
picture?
carried on. And when my mom got him delivered to the house, oh my goodness, I got in so much trouble. It's because she looked at the picture and went,
Oh man.
What did you do?"
What did you do?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I mean,
Not good.
yeah, not good. And that's kind of what got me in trouble and moved to. So I was in Southern California at the time. My mom moved me to San Francisco with my brother. My brother's a San Francisco firefighter.
Okay.
I moved there when I was 15, um, thinking that I was on a 3-week vacation,
Oh.
but that wasn't the plan the whole time. I was I was being shipped off to live somewhere. And I found out about that months down the road, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm here now. And
As you're still there months later.
yeah, yeah. So then I lived in San Francisco for about 2 years, and
Wow.
then I moved to Sweet Home um, when I was 17, about a month and a half before my senior year of high school.
Oh
And that's how
wow.
I got to Oregon.
Okay.
Um, and So I moved to Oregon a couple years after that. I I mean, I was 17 when I moved here. 4 years later, I had my first son. Um,
Oh wow.
just right out of, I was 21, not right out of high school, but I was 21 years old. Um, Gosh, I mean, fast forward, I had moved to Portland, lived in Portland for 7 years, and that's kind of where like everything started to
Hmm.
change in my head. After about 5 years of living up in Portland, I was an alcoholic. I drank all the time. Woke up in the Portland drunk tank a few times.
Oh man.
Um, yeah, I woke up a lot of places where I didn't know I was, and it was a wild time. It wasn't very good. I moved up there to try to go to school and better myself, and I just
Do you think that whether it was the drinking or just kind of, with everything going sideways, was it, what do you feel like you were trying to fill by drinking? Like, what was your, like, was it doubts in your head, or was it just like your, just a wrong crowd, or like, what was the factors that went into that, do you think?
no, surprisingly enough, even though my best friend that I was roommates with at the time, we were both, doing those things together. He was actually not a bad crowd, really. We were just both. I had a lot of anger and resentment about my childhood, my dad, my mom, um, just stuff that I didn't know how to let go of.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to let go. And it always came out when I was drunk. I
Yeah.
would
Oh, sure.
I'd be fine, and then I lost a lot of friends during that time in Portland because it would all come out, and
Mm.
it was anger and resentment. I was just trying to, and depression, big depression, because I mean, I moved to Portland because me and my son's mom broke up.
Mm.
And I wanted to really make that work at the time. And so that was kind of me just running away, from my problems, moving to Portland. And
Yeah.
drowning those problems, Um, I remember I was on the phone with my mom one day. I was on the bus and I was just talking to her about how bad things were. And she asked me if she could pray for me. And I was like, I don't, normally I would have been like, no, I'm on the bus, like we
Yeah.
were FaceTiming and
Yeah.
there were people on the bus. And I was like, okay. And she prayed for me. And at the time, I wasn't much of a believer, but I kind of, I felt it, like I felt
Mhm.
the prayer. And it wasn't long after that I met my wife, or we knew each other. We knew each other from years and years before I was friends with her boyfriend, but we somehow just connected on Instagram. And she came up to visit me, and like I think a month later I moved down there, but down to Lebanon from Portland in with
Okay.
her. And gosh, I mean, yeah, a month after getting together, I moved down here,
So at
and
that point, does everything get better, or
sort
did
of,
that
yeah,
lifestyle like continue?
that lifestyle sort of it did continue. Like I kept drinking. That's a hard thing to shake, especially when you are in denial that you're an alcoholic. I was like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I just like it.
Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with drinking 18 beers in a day. They're
That's
light
denial.
beers, so it's fine, right? Yeah, no, for sure, big time. Um, I mean, it was an issue for years. I mean, it wasn't as bad as when I was single and having roommates, but like every now and then I would do something dumb and
Mhm.
you know and then it was a battle to like I would start, and I joined a gym when I was 28, so that was what, 11 years ago. Joined a gym when I was
Wow.
28, and I would go like a week at a time. I wouldn't drink, and then I'd take a week off and I'd skateboard and drink. And it was like for a few years, it was this kind of like on and off thing with the gym. And I broke my wrist skateboarding one time, and then I just made the choice. I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to pick the gym. And shortly after my daughter was born, I decided I was going to quit drinking in 2019, November 2019. I quit drinking for about a year and a half and still wasn't going to church or anything. I mean, that was still a process. But I thought I had a handle on it. Everything was good. I started having a beer with dinner or whatever. And over
Mm.
the course of 3 years, it went from that to I became a bartender. I was I was a bartender while I was training people too. So I was bartending at night, training during the day. I was coming in hungover and training people, and I mean, it was not sustainable. I felt like such a fraud. I was like, what am I doing? Like, I wasn't very happy with myself. I was like, I have a job here at a gym that, I love, and I don't know, just this doesn't work. So one night I was having a really bad day at work at the bar. Um, and I started drinking early in the day through my shift, ended my shift, and went to a bar afterwards, had a couple drinks, and I was given a free drink, and I attribute it to that last drink. So I drove home after that, and I got on this road, and I must have dozed off, just slightly, because my tires went a little bit off the road and kind of dug into the gravel and shot the front end of my car off the road. I flipped. I don't know how many times I flipped, but I remember grabbing under my steering wheel and holding it and just thinking like, when am I gonna stop flipping? Yeah, because I was just like, "Duh, duh, 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 duh."
Oh my
um,
gosh.
then I crawl out of my car because it's upside down, and like it's the top smashed. And so I squeeze through and I stand up and I'm just looking at my car like, what have I done? And then I remember like just I was looking at myself, like checking myself, and I mean I don't know if you could see it on the camera, but like there's a little mark
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I had to flip my car 7 times, and that's the only thing that I got. I mean, besides
What?
maybe some bruises on the top of my head, like I had a little piece of glass.
Yeah.
Remember
That's insane.
this lady got out of her car, and I had some glass right here, and I had like blood running down my face, and she was like freaking out, telling me to sit down, and I was like, no.
Oh my
I
God.
also, this is funny. I like to tell people this because it kind of made me laugh in the moment. I looked at my car and I thought to myself, I think I can deadlift this and flip it over and go.
That's what was going through your head in that moment.
But just for a split second, I
Oh
I
my
looked at the car and was like, I think I can do it. That was that, and that kind of made me chuckle. I was like, you're such an idiot. You can't do that.
Oh my
But
God.
then the reality kind of set in, and I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I must have felt God there with me or something. Cause I started crying and I was just
Mhm.
like, I can't believe I'm alive right now. You know,
Yeah.
it was, I mean, I really couldn't believe it. It was maybe I could send you a picture
Yeah.
of the crash and you can,
Yeah. Yeah,
show it in
definitely,
the thing.
definitely send me the picture. I want to see that. That's insane. I mean, it sounds to me like that was an encounter with the Holy Spirit when, I mean, if
Oh,
you're having that kind of emotion like that, you know?
yeah. Yeah. No, it was that because I decided that moment I'll never drink again. Um, I wasn't saved that night. That was the next day. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know, I was in the shower. I just got down on my knees and prayed, man. And that was yeah, that was the moment. The next day, I was getting in the shower because I had to go to see my mom that day. The next day, I mean, I got home from the police station at like 6 o'clock in the morning. By the way, the Lebanon police are awesome. They're really cool people. They gave me a ride home. They like didn't have to, but they're really cool people. But um, yeah, I
So,
had to take a shower to go to my mom's that day, and I didn't tell my mom about it. Like I had to
so
sit
she
there at
didn't
my
know.
mom's, and no, I had to pretend like nothing happened, and I'm just like just still so shocked that I'm alive. I just keep looking at my hands, like, dude, how?
Yeah. Yeah.
Holding my baby and crying. My son Dawson was just 6 months old. My 2-year old son.
Yeah.
He was just like 6 months old at the time. This is in July of last or 2024.
Holy
July
cow.
14th. July 14th, 2024. That was the day my life completely turned around for the better.
It's crazy to hear. It's crazy to hear how you went through that. I just interviewed a gal who I've known for a long time, and her son was going down a really, really bad path. And her story will is on this podcast as well. But her son was in a car accident, and by all rights, like by all rights, should have died in that accident. And he ended up with a pretty traumatic brain injury. And it's been a really long road over this last year for them. But similarly to you, like, he was not living his life for God, and he was on a very bad trajectory. And it was interesting to hear her say, as a mother, that she was so grateful for that accident, even
Hmm.
though this last year has been one of the hardest things they have ever gone through. There's been miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. Like, you just cannot deny it. And even the son is like, I can't deny all these things that have happened. And he wrote a book already, like, about his story, and he accepted Christ into his heart. And but it was just, as a mom, it was hard to listen to her say, it was like it was what it took. It's what it took to get his
Hmm.
attention. And who he is today is not at all who he was before that accident. Like he's a completely
Right.
different person. And so to hear you talk about your story that way and like how that, it wasn't even the night of, right? Because you were probably still intoxicated, you're just like
Oh
still
yeah.
trying to figure out what just happened and
Yeah.
disoriented. And then the next day for you to hit your knees and like for all that to come flooding in, um, is it's such a powerful experience. Like I wish that people could experience the Holy Spirit like coming over them like that because it's insane.
Hmm.
Like
It
it's I
is.
can't even put words to it.
No, and I mean, like, you don't, it's like one of those things, if you know, you know,
Yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
it just, I would just wish it was easier for people to know
Yeah.
than to hit your rock bottom, or, but
We tend to be a little
what it
hard-headed.
takes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Just a
all
little.
this, it's funny how God sends so many nicer messages to try to tell you to get your act together before he lets you, you know, be your own, be your own ruin.
In hindsight, because hindsight's 2020, so you said that you had that you'd had one, I'm trying to think what it was that you said earlier. You'd had kind of one experience with God. Oh, the prayer. Your mom was praying over you on that bus.
Mhm.
Was there any other times you can think of when you look back on your life where you're like, gosh, like God was trying to get my attention there, or he was like tapping my shoulder, or in hindsight, do you feel like you have any of those memories?
Yeah, I think God sent a lot of angels in my life. I mean, just friends I had when I was a kid that, like, I went and stayed at their house because staying at my house kind of sucked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, and one of my friends, Josh Nishimoto, he uh he was our Christian friend in our group, like our group of bad kids. Josh was our Christian. Josh didn't do bad things. We didn't cuss in front of Josh.
Mm.
And, just people, there's been people like that in my life and they've always been like, "Hey, I wish you wouldn't do that," or something like that. And I feel like that's always been my, just, my daughter, my oldest daughter, she would randomly come up to me sometimes, just I wouldn't have a beer in my hand, and she would go, "Dad, you should stop drinking beer." I was like, "Why, honey? It's just bad. You should just stop." Well, it's a lot more difficult, it's a lot more complicated than that, just whatever, and just pay no attention to it. But like those were messages, like where did she get that idea?
Yeah.
If I don't know, it's just so many. And I mean, also there were messages like waking up in the drunk tank, and getting arrested
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah. So
still wasn't getting the
sometimes they're just little taps, and other times it's like a on the back of the head.
McFly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you feel like things have changed for you over the last year since that moment where you hit your knees in the shower and ask God to come into your life? How do you feel like that's changed your trajectory in this last year? Besides the obvious, but do you feel
Well,
like there's
so
been a deep shift for you?
yes, big time. So earlier we were talking about how, like, I had a lot of resentment and, reasons why I drink, and, because I had a hard time letting go of that stuff. It's let go. I've let all that go. My mom and our relationship is better than it's ever been. We're super tight. We've always been really tight, but, like, we've had there's been a lot of friction between us, but there's no friction anymore. So that's all fixed. Me and my dad, he's a different one because my dad knows the Bible in and out so well, but just does not live it.
Hmm.
He's also kind of a mystery. I don't know a lot about him. There's apparently he's got a rap sheet that I don't know about. And
Hmm.
there's some things that I've heard that I can't find out if they're true or not from him, because every time I talk to him, it's, I'll tell you when you're older,
Oh, yeah.
39, it's
Yeah.
like I'm never gonna find things out. So, but we have other than that, we have a pretty good relationship. We talk every now and then. Um, yeah, not much to say about him. You know,
Yeah.
he's the reason why I'm a good dad, not because he showed me how to be a good dad. He showed me how not to be a bad dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I learned from watching all the mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes people are put in our lives for different reasons, and sometimes it's to show us an example of what not to do.
Yeah, it's another thing that God has given me. He's given me my dad's a walking encyclopedia, of anything biblical, but it doesn't live it, so
Yeah.
it's, which is what pushed me away from Christianity for a long time, was so much hypocritical so many hypocritical things that I've seen,
That's not
and
super uncommon though. I mean, I feel
no, I
like
know.
that I've heard a lot of people say like I walked away from God because of a person or because of a situation or because of um something that was other than Jesus. Like I
Yeah,
didn't walk away from Jesus because Jesus did something to me.
yeah,
I walked away because of this human being or because of this situation or this environment or whatever that might be. And so I mean, I know it sounds probably a little cliche, but like I've seen little memes that say like if you were hurt by the church, right? Like you were hurt by humans, not by God.
yeah.
And yet we take it out on God and our relationship with
Hmm.
God suffers, which is super unfortunate because we don't realize or take the time to disconnect the two.
Yeah,
And it's fascinating, I guess, to me, that we don't. It's easy to. I think it's probably just easy to use that as the reason,
it
because it's
is.
right in front of us.
Yeah, and we let our emotions get the best of us, and especially anger.
Yeah.
Anger's a hard one to let go of. But that's another big thing that's changed in me. I've got
Mm.
so much peace, and just like true joy. Like I really enjoy my life. I'm not a wealthy man. I'm not, anything like that, but I have an amazing family, and I enjoy what I do. I'm healthy. So I mean, I just have nothing but gratitude.
That's such an insightful word because when you allow Christ to live within you, like when you just give that over to him, there is a peace that is very unexplainable. Like and I've heard so many people talk about that peace that you mentioned and how it's such a oh, let me think of the right word here, but it's such an inexplainable peace. Like by all rights, I should still be angry. I have every right to be, and yet I'm not.
Hmm.
And it's hard to put words to unless you've experienced it. Like it's you've got to experience it. You've got to be able to put that at the feet of Jesus and be like, okay, you take this because clearly I'm not doing a good job with this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, as Christians, we want to try to emulate Christ, right? Like
Yeah.
that's something that my pastor said recently, that the word Christian was originally intended to be an insult, because they would see followers of Christ and they'd be like, "Oh, look at it means little Christ." That's what
Oh.
Christian means. It means little Christ. So they'd be like, "Oh, look at all those little
Mm-hmm.
Christians over there," and they were like, "Oh, we kind of like that. We're gonna use that. We're Christians." And
We'll say
so
we'll say that proudly.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, that's like, what would Jesus do? Well, he wouldn't honk and flip somebody off when they cut him off in the on the road, or if they don't put their weights away, or so
Which we
you just got
encounter maybe often.
all the time. I try to put a smile on my face and just put them away,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I think this is definitely it's an internal joke with whether it's trainers or gym owners or it's like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
yeah. What was it? My picture a while back, a couple weeks ago, and I was like, does this look like Foursquare to anybody else? But or it's not Foursquare, whatever that game is, I don't remember, but
Connect
I think it's
Four.
called Connect Four. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh, this is just killing me. But yeah. So Ian, I want to ask you to kind of think back throughout this whole story that you've just shared. If there is a listener that is struggling with anything that you just mentioned, right? Whether it's drinking, whether it's anger, what advice would you maybe have for them? Almost like you were giving advice to yourself 2 or 3 years ago, or even a year ago. If you think back at what you would advise yourself on now, what would that be?
Man, that's so hard to. I mean, the obvious, you know, quit drinking. It's not, I mean, it's not helping. I don't think it's ever helped anybody in the history of people ever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's
Truth.
terrible advice though, because it's so much easier said than done. People
Oh
told
yeah.
me that all the time, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, and it's so hard to say what kind of advice I would give them because if somebody were to give me advice back then, I'm somebody that has to learn the hard way. So I would hear somebody tell me, hey, find a good church. Be like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, like that's going to solve my problems, or surround yourself with, you know, like Christ-minded people, and stuff like that. No, that's not going to help me, but it really will. Like, find a good church. I found a good church 6 months before my car crash, and I mean, that's kind of what every time I went to church, I felt like he had been watching me all week, and he was preaching to me, and so that's my best advice is find a good church because you probably will feel like they're talking to you and things will hit home. And that's
Yeah.
what did it for me. Because if I hadn't been going to church, I think I might have taken that car crash. Who knows what I'd be doing with that right now. I mean, I really don't know. So I mean, yeah, I don't know what I would do without God in my life during that crash. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the biggest thing.
I think for some people, I know for me, when I had a friend who, I won't go into my story, but I had walked away from God at the age of 16 until about what has it been now, like 5 years ago, and but I had a friend that would always invite me to come to church, and I hated it because I was like, I don't want to go to church because every time I go sit in church, I cry, you
Yeah,
know? And I hated that part. It was like, I don't want to sit in church
yeah.
and cry during the worship music, during the sermon. It was like, oh, for the love, like I don't want to be here. And and then one day it was a little more than just a little bit of crying. It was like, oh my gosh, like the Holy Spirit just got a hold of me in that service. Um and so, I think that can be hard, especially when you feel like the preacher's talking right at you, or, that's conviction, right? Like that
Yeah.
is conviction from the Holy Spirit, and he is trying to get your attention. Uh,
hmm It kept me coming back though. That's what I liked about it. So I was like, oh,
mhm.
this is what I need.
Yeah.
It was what my soul needed. Like I'd
Yeah.
been trying to fill my body with things to make me feel better, but it's doing nothing for my soul.
Sometimes that's the best thing when you don't even know that you need something and you get what you needed and you didn't even know you needed it.
Yep. Isn't that how it always goes though? Like, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. Yeah.
same with the gym. I mean, a lot of the times you're told to do a workout that you don't want to do, but you have to do it because it's what you need.
Mm-hmm. It's what you need.
The gym is a perfect analogy for life. And I mean, I
100%.
use it, I use the gym and the Bible all the time
Mm-hmm.
as analogies
Yeah.
for life. They're both. perfect.
I always joke, but I'm serious. Like the Bible is like the best business book ever. And
Yeah.
I use gym analogies all the time. Like you are so right, Ian. Like the gym and the Bible are such perfect examples of life, of business, of all of it. Like I don't know how you get any better examples than those two things.
I don't know.
I love this. Well, Ian, I really thank you for coming on this podcast and for being willing to just share your story. I mean, I know that sometimes sharing our past, sharing like our history, sharing those things of us that maybe like we're not the proudest of, it's not always the easiest to share. But I feel like God uses our stories, our pain, our problems that we had to help people that are currently in that pain, currently in those problems, and he's able to just perpetuate that and use that for the next person. That like he uses everything for good, right? And so
Everything.
to take your story and share it and to let someone hear it that maybe is in that boat, um even just one person just
I hope so.
hearing that.
I hope so. And I mean, if anybody ever wants to reach out and talk, I'm always, shoot me a message on Instagram or
Yeah.
come into the
What is
gym,
what's your Instagram handle? And we'll also make sure to put it in the description when we post this, but why don't you share your Instagram profile?
My Instagram is pst.coach on Instagram. I share my lifting videos, clients' videos, silly stuff on my stories.
Yeah. Yeah. You share some cool things. I get very inspired by your videos, especially when Kayla is like kicking butt in there. It inspires me to go in there and keep going.
She fires me up, man. I love training her. She's so fun.
I have a funny story for you about Kayla. At this point, we're gonna have Kayla on here because now all of our listeners are gonna be like, "Who's Kayla?"
Who's
So, who's
Kayla?
Kayla? She's gonna kill me for this, but when we went on a trip to Hawaii and we did a funny little. We were in the pool. And so we did a quick little race, and I actually think I beat her by like 1 second.
Ah,
I'm pretty sure. It might be
nice.
the only thing that I ever beat Kayla in, but it was like 1 second.
Does she agree?
I don't know. She might argue that. She might. I'm not sure. Yeah. I think I might have it on video though, so I'll have to go back and look.
Oh yeah, you gotta check the footage.
Yeah, razor hair finish, but I'm pretty sure I was ahead of her. Oh, well, Ian, thank you again. I'm so stoked that I got to have you on here and learn more about you, and to be able to have you share your story. This has been a really cool experience to get to hear it. And you're very inspiring to me. And I know that your story is going to be very inspiring to our listeners too. So thank you for being willing to share.
Well, thank you so much, Andrea. I really appreciate you having me.